Have you ever stopped to think about what's behind that simple swoosh, that iconic checkmark that's become a global symbol for victory, for ambition, for just doing it? It's more than just a logo on a shoe. It's a story of two men, a waffle iron, and a dream that almost didn't make it. Our story begins not in a fancy boardroom, but on a running track at the University of Oregon. Meet Phil Knight, a decent middle-distance runner, and his coach, the legendary Bill Bowerman. Bowerman was obsessed with one thing, making his athletes faster, and he believed the key was in their shoes. Back then, running shoes were clunky, heavy things. Bowerman, a relentless tinkerer, would tear them apart, trying to make them lighter, better. He was a mad scientist of footwear. Phil Knight, after graduating, had a crazy idea, as he called it. He traveled to Japan and managed to convince a shoe company, Onitsuka Tiger, to let him be their American distributor. He returned to the US with a shipment of Tiger shoes and started selling them out of the trunk of his car at track meets. He named his little venture Blue Ribbon Sports. He sent a few pairs to his old coach, Bowerman, hoping for a sale or maybe just some approval. Bowerman's response was unexpected. He didn't just want to buy them, he wanted to be a partner. He saw the potential, but he also saw flaws. He proposed a partnership. Knight would handle the business, and Bowerman would improve the shoes. They shook on it, each putting in $500. Blue Ribbon Sports was officially born in 1964. For years, they operated on a shoestring budget, a constant dance with debt and risk, fueled by a shared passion for running. They were doing well, but their relationship with Onitsuka Tiger started to sour. They felt constrained, and they knew they had better ideas. The breaking point came. They knew they had to create their own brand, their own shoe. It was a terrifying leap of faith. They were about to go head-to-head with the very company that gave them their start. First, they needed a name. Names like Dimension 6 were thrown around. Then their first employee, Jeff Johnson, had a dream one night. He woke up with a single word in his head: Nike. The Greek goddess of victory. It had power. It had grace. It stuck. Next, a logo. Knight approached a young graphic design student named Carolyn Davidson. He told her he needed something that suggested motion. She spent hours sketching and eventually came up with a simple fluid checkmark, the swoosh. At the time, Knight wasn't entirely sold on it. "I don't love it," he famously said, "but maybe it will grow on me." He paid her $35 for the design, $35 for what would become one of the most recognized symbols on the planet. Their first big moment came with a flash of breakfast-time inspiration. Bowerman was staring at his wife's waffle iron, and a light bulb went off. The grid pattern. What if you put that on the sole of a shoe? It would be light, springy, and grip the track like nothing else. He poured rubber into the waffle iron, ruining it, but creating the legendary Waffle sole. The shoe built around it, the Waffle trainer, became a sensation. It put Nike on the map. But the journey was far from smooth. They faced financial crises that nearly sank the company multiple times. Competitors were fierce. There were moments when giving up seemed like the only logical option, but they held on. They believed in their product and in the spirit of the athlete. Then came the 1980s. The fitness craze was sweeping America, but Nike missed the aerobics wave, and their rival Reebok exploded onto the scene. Nike's sales plummeted. The company was in a crisis. They were seen as a serious, hardcore running brand, but they were losing their cool. They needed to reconnect with the culture. Their salvation came in the form of a rookie basketball player from North Carolina, a guy who could fly, Michael Jordan. They bet the entire company on him, creating a signature shoe, the Air Jordan. It was a massive risk. The shoe's bold red and black colorway even violated the NBA's uniform rules, earning Jordan a fine every time he wore them on court. Nike happily paid it. The controversy was the best marketing they could have asked for. The Air Jordan wasn't just a shoe, it was a cultural phenomenon. It saved Nike. Riding this new wave of rebellious energy, they needed a slogan that captured their spirit. Ad man Dan Whedon, remembering the last words of a convicted killer facing a firing squad, "Let's do it," had a moment of inspiration. He tweaked it. Just do it. 3 simple words that became a global mantra. It wasn't about selling shoes anymore. It was about selling an attitude, a mindset of empowerment and determination. It spoke to the athlete in everyone, whether you were a world champion or just trying to get off the couch. Of course, the story isn't a perfect fairy tale. Nike has faced major controversies, particularly concerning labor practices in their overseas factories during the 90s. They were accused of using sweatshop labor, and the backlash was immense. It was a dark chapter that forced the company to confront the ethical responsibilities that come with being a global giant. They had to rebuild trust, implement stricter standards, and become more transparent. It was a painful but necessary evolution. Through it all, the triumphs, the failures, the near bankruptcies, and the controversies, Nike has never stopped innovating. From air technology to Flyknit to self-lacing shoes, they've constantly pushed the boundaries of what's possible, always guided by Bowerman's original obsession, helping athletes perform better. So the next time you see that swoosh, remember its journey. It's not just a brand. It's a story of a coach's obsession, a student's crazy idea, a $35 logo, and a waffle iron that changed the world. It's a testament to the power of risk, the agony of defeat, and the relentless pursuit of victory. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest things start with a simple, audacious decision to just do it. Thanks so much for watching this journey with me. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the brands that shape our world. We'll see you in the next one.